What would you do if you were given a $56 billion pay package? And would it look anything like that? That was Elon Musk at the Tesla annual shareholder meeting last week, shortly after investors approved the largest CEO pay package in the country. And while Musk's multi-year compensation package is larger than his peers, he may not be at the top for very long, because new analysis finds that median CEO pay has risen by 12% just this year across all S&P 500 companies. That means it's rising at the fastest rate in 14 years. For comparison, worker wages have only risen 4.1% since last year. The latest annual figures from trade union AFL-CIO revealed that the average CEO at the 500 largest S&P companies hauled in $16.7 million in 2022. That means it would take workers 272 years to make what their chief executives earn annually. Pay disparity has become an unignorable problem, even for those on corporate boards. Executive pay has gotten out of control. William George, a former compensation committee chair at Exxon, said, "This is going to cause a further split in our country between the haves and the have-nots. This is a grave concern to me because I think there will be a loss of trust in companies." I mean, 56 billion across 10 years. This is restoring the 2018 compensation agreement. This is billions every year for the next 10 years. This has got, and they're cheering it. The shareholders are cheering it. But this rate of increase is horrifying. What do you make of this?
Thanks for watching. Our audience has helped build TYT into the media giant it is today. Together, we can accomplish anything. Support our work and join us at tyt.com/team.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different things here. Number one, if you have an honest board and they decided, hey, you know what, Elon Musk or fill in the blank, a really good guy, has made a giant difference, and they made a $100 billion difference, and they're going to give him 56 billion of that. I'd say, well, that's a big chunk of it, right? But it depends on how much stock he has, how many shares he has he actually delivered? So I'm actually, believe it or not, less concerned about that. Okay, so that happens to be Elon Musk and one particular personality, and yeah, we might have other issues with him, but that particular compensation, I don't have enough expertise to judge. But I do know this: the real underlying problem, guys, is severalfold. But first is, a lot of times the boards are not that independent of the executives. Sometimes the executives pick the board, and then the board decides to give the executives a ton of money. And so that is money that could have gone to workers. That's money that could have gone to shareholders. There's a lot of people that that money could have gone to instead of the executives. And sometimes the executives earn it, but we've shown you now hundreds of stories where the company is nosediving, just absolutely crashing, and the executives getting crazy pay anyway. We've shown you stories where people have put their dentist on the board of a company, right? Just because they want a rubber stamp. Oh yeah, I should get all the money. Oh yeah, I should make 4,000 times what the average employee makes. And then you'll see them on top complain, oh, the workers are making too much money. But guys, you guys are making hundreds of times more. If they're, okay, fine. If your company's in trouble and the workers are making too much money, then obviously you're making too much money. Obviously, you're the one who's crashing the company at the top in a lot of cases, and you're the one taking the most money. So obviously we should reduce your pay. Never. That conversation never happens on CNBC. That conversation never happens anywhere in power. And that is, and what do the last thing, what do the executives do to get these kind of things? One is the boards that I explained. The second is politicians. They grease up all the politicians to remove any regulations, any guardrails, any way to check these executives so that they actually serve their entire company, including their employees and stakeholders. The government goes, I don't care, do whatever you want. You know what? We're gonna deregulate the companies because of freedom. No, they're deregulating companies so the executives can rob everybody else blind, because the executives are the ones giving them the campaign donations.
Yeah. So Musk's deal is based on stock options. It's hundreds of millions of stock options that could fluctuate, and it has fluctuated since they agreed to this last week, because the stock, and also since April, since the stock has continued to fall. But if he hits a bunch of incentives and a bunch of price points, he could end up getting tens of billions of dollars through this over the next 10 years. That is astronomical. Nobody needs that much money. Nobody, not a single person. There's no amount of goodwill that he can lie and say that he's doing that would ever warrant that amount of money. It's never going to happen. He especially has made outrageous, bold-faced lies about charity work and goodwill around the country that he has never fulfilled. And he's taken credit for a lot of things that other people have done. Unfortunately, a lot of people who invest in that company because they want to profit off of it buy into this myth that he is using that money for good, and that's simply not true. But overall, this reflects a major problem with the ultra wealthy in this country. And the IRS is attempting to close a major loophole that could collect over 50 billion from the ultra wealthy over the next 10 years. The proposed rule and guidance announced on Monday includes plans to essentially stop partnership basis shifting, a process by which a business or person can move assets among a series of related parties to avoid paying taxes. Now, the Biden administration claims this is part of an ongoing effort to crack down on wealthy tax cheats. The IRS says filings for large pass-through businesses used for the type of tax avoidance in the guidance increased 70% from 174,000 in 2010 to 297,400 in 2019. However, audit rates for these businesses fell from 3.8% to 0.1% in the same time frame. Additionally, the IRS is planning to audit over 20% of companies with over 250 million in assets by 2026, up from 8.8% in 2019. I mean, is this the best way they can go about it? I mean, how do you feel about this new maneuver and this new rule from the IRS, Cenk?
Yeah, so I don't think that this addresses the whole issue, but it's a good start. And so Biden has done a couple of things you should give him credit for. This is one of them. Another one was the 15% minimum tax on corporations. So that's a big deal. So that allows us to collect some taxes when these companies usually have these giant loopholes that they can drive a Mack truck through, right? So now, in reality, that was a worldwide initiative started by the OECD, but at least we cooperated with the rest of the world, whereas Trump would have been like, no way, man, corporations are the best. They should be able to pay zero. We should make the actual Americans pay all the goddamn taxes, not my beloved corporations. By the way, I'm a populist. Are you? Are you? And you know he's going around the country now promising oil executives and bankers and casino magnates all of these extra goodies. I'll give you all the money. I'll take those poor suckers and losers' money and I'll give it to you. Just give me $1 billion. I'm gonna drain the swamp. Hilarious, hilarious. So look, I think Biden's terrible on money in politics as well, but proof's in the pudding. You give me two laws that the Republicans would have never done, and I'll take it. I would do a lot more, but it's definitely better than Trump and the Republicans in this case.
Yeah, I struggle to differentiate between Biden and Trump on a lot of things. And I think administrative state issues, especially when it comes to organized labor, that's the Department of Labor, it would be noticeably different under Trump. I think there are some aspects of the IRS that are different under Biden. He's pushing for cracking down on the ultra wealthy, taxing more, which is great. Even if their hand was forced, it is a difference. But I wish we had a president and even a Democratic Party at large that was willing to take bolder stances on this. Auditing also is a harder thing to sell in an election. Oh yeah, we're auditing more people. It's just a tough thing for me to see as a rallying cry for a political candidate in a national election, because it just sends a chill up anyone's spine. No one wants to be audited. You're kind of scared of it. It's nerve-wracking. I just don't see that playing as well as we're coming after the wealth. You saw the movement that Bernie Sanders built on bold messaging around cracking down on the ultra wealthy, not kind of like tweaking around the edges through auditing, through cracking down on some loopholes here and there. It's not thorough enough, I think.
But Jordan, so I hear you on that, but it's all in the framing too. But this is where Biden's really gonna fall flat, unfortunately, I think. Not I think, I know. So look, I can sell an audit for you, real easy. I'm gonna audit those sons of bitches. Let's find out what you got, okay? Let's see how much taxes you've been cheating on. I'm gonna find you, I'm gonna catch you, and then you're gonna find out. That's what I got to those corporate gougers who increased inflation for all of you guys while saying your pay shouldn't go up. Wouldn't it be amazing if you had a Democratic candidate who could do that? Like I actually think it's the bare minimum.
Have you thought about running for president?
Hilarious. Okay, so, but the thing is, So you saw that, and people might like that, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know, I did briefly run for president against Biden, but no mainstream media network would put me on to say that, because that would be really popular. So now, look, what's Biden gonna say? We're better than Trump. Come on, prove me wrong, please, Biden. Prove me wrong. Show me a strong Biden that says, "Oh, Cenk, step aside, Butch. Watch this," right? And does it better than I just did. But everyone watching, even like Dr. Jill Biden's like, he can't. Everybody knows he can't.
I just don't think they want it, because they rely on the same corporate donors. I don't think they actually want this. Okay, they close a loophole, they could say, job well done, we did it, great. There are still many other problems contributing to and fueling wealth disparity that they don't want to touch.
And Jordan, you're really hitting the nail on the head there, because one is his inability to market anything and push anything. But you're right, the more important part is he don't want to. Like the 15% minimum tax on corporations, I've given him credit for that like 200 times on the show. And that's 199 times more than he's given himself credit. He never talks about it. His administration never talks about it. It's like the best thing he's done, and he barely says a word about it. Because to him, criticizing corporations or rich people is like a third rail. He's like, I would. He's like, that's why he's like, in the issue of Israel, he's like, I said some stern words against the donor. And he thinks that's like the greatest thing on earth. It's the bravest thing he's ever done, right? Like he, of course, gave the donor whatever they want. In that case, it happens to be AIPAC. But in the case of all these other things, he gives them. So he's not gonna fight for this. But last thing is, I wanna show you guys graphics 5 here, because it gives you a sense of scale. Because I don't want you to think like, oh, we took one particular case, oh, he got $56 billion and we're making a, no, look at the numbers. So look at aggregated CEO to worker compensation ratio of the 350 largest publicly owned companies in the US. That's not CEO pay going up. That's CEO to worker compensation ratio. Okay, I mean, people complain about getting ratioed on Twitter. The American workers getting ratioed by CEOs. That is sky high. Here, I'll give you another chart. Maybe this, it's just different ways of looking at it. Since 1978, the growth of CEO pay has radically outpaced typical worker compensation. So workers, congratulations, 18%. Oh, since 1978. Meanwhile, CEO compensation, 1,460% increase. If you're saying, where's the 18%? Look down, it's like the last thing. It's like the one that's nearly flat next to the line. That's your pay. The CEO pay through the frickin' roof. If you think this happens naturally, well, why doesn't it happen in other countries, which are also capitalist? Why doesn't it happen all the time in history? It doesn't. It happens when you set the rules that allows for unlimited pay to executives who donate to politicians, and no pay for you guys who don't donate to politicians. And that's how we got this system.
Yeah, one other thing on this. You look at the 18% gain since 1978. And even just look at, since then, the 4% that we saw over the last year, you have to acknowledge that most, if not all of that, has been erased by inflation. So even on paper, factoring in a 4.1% increase year over year for workers just since last year, with consumer confidence low, with people feeling strains at the grocery store, so much so that stores had to lower their prices to get people to come back because they were price gouging them so much. These gains are being erased by corporate greed, fueling this increase in CEO compensation among dividends for shareholders. It is disgusting, and at some point it's going to hit a breaking point. I don't know when, I don't know what that's going to look like, but I can't imagine you can keep a population of millions and millions of people oppressed and starving and hungry for much longer.
Yeah, and that's why we're in the situation that we're in now, and that's why Trump rose up. He's a fake populist, but he noticed that anger in the country that the establishment Democrats can't notice because they're in Washington. They all live in castles. And when they go to their parties, everybody agrees, oh, everything's wonderful, wonderful, stock market's up, high five, high five, high five. And they can't see the real pain that those numbers show you are real in this country. The minute the Democrats have a populist leader, they're gonna capture the country completely. They're gonna win super easily. But as long as the corrupt continue to control the Democratic Party, the Republicans are going to win just by being fake populists, because these numbers are real. Look, last thing, in my book, Justice is Coming, I have a whole chapter about this. That 1978 date is not an accident. It is the moment that all the numbers turn. You'll see going in your life, throughout your life, you'll see whenever you see a graph of economic numbers that diverge in America, they always start in 1978, because that was a Supreme Court decision that allowed corporate money into politics. That was pre-Citizens United. 78, the Supreme Court allows bribery to become basically legal in America. And that's when corporations and their executives bribe all of the politicians ad nauseum until they capture the entire system. And currently, we barely live in a democracy. These guys are our version of the Iranian mullahs and the Chinese Politburo. They control the politicians that you get to pick from. So that's the sorry state the country is in. And the core cause of that is money in politics. Until you end the corruption, we're never going to end any of the other problems.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.